busy and dramatic touring car afternoon at Brands Hatch. We've seen Matt Neal taste victory for Vauxhall. We've seen Rob Collard win for BMW. But this could be something different. Jason Plato on pole position for the British Championship's third round, watched by Tim Harvey and Ben Edwards.
Jason Plato won more races than anybody else last year. Of course, he missed out on winning the title once again. He's been a championship contender year after year in the British Touring Car Championship. And here he is with this last-minute deal to get out there, and he starts from pole position in a new car, for him anyway, the Chevrolet Lacetti. Alongside him is Jonathan Adam. Johnny Adam making his debut this weekend, doing a good job so far. Behind them we've got the two Cartridge World cars of Dan Eves and Adam Jones, and both have been running quickly so far this weekend. But watch out for row 3. Gordon Shedden and Andrew Jordan both went well in race 2, fighting their way up from the back of the grid. They could do the same again. Stephen Jelly and Matt Neal are together on row 4 of the grid. Both have been running quickly this weekend. But behind them we've got those two fast BMWs of Colin Turkington and Rob Collard, winner of race 2. How far can he get? He's now carrying 45 kilos of ballast, of course. Behind them on row 6 we've got Harry Volkard and Martin Bell. And then it's Dave Pinkney and Tom Chilton in the Ford Focus. They're still struggling to get the power they need out of that engine. Alan Morrison, his teammate, is next on the grid on row 8, and alongside him is Fabrizio Giovanardi with some work to do. He got that puncture in race 2, starts a long way down here. Then it's Nick Leeson and John George on row number 9, and bringing up the rear, it's Liam McMillan and Martin Johnston. So that's how the grid lines up, and the cars just making their way round on the second of their formation laps now. Colin Turkington, who's going to be starting back on row 5 of the grid. He actually starts 9th on the grid this time. We've got an interesting camera position on this one, Tim.
Yeah, this is looking down at Colin Turkington's feet. So they can see him on the brake, blipping the throttle as he down changes. The big pedal on the left is just a clutch, a rest for your foot. But you'll see him using the clutch a little bit and working the brakes. There he's changing down, 2 blips, 2 gears gone down. But he's working the brakes, and he's building some temperature in the tyres. It's a little bit cooler now. The pedal he has his foot on, left foot on now, is just a brace actually for when he goes around the fast corners, because once they're under operation he won't use that clutch as much, and he needs to brace himself against that big pedal.
So lots of work going on this formation lap, because of course he's dipping the clutch, they're slowing down, building up speed, he's trying to get heat into those tyres. So in a way there's more work going on there than sometimes you'd see on a lap.
Yeah, obviously the biggest point of action is on braking for something like a hairpin, where he's got to go down through the gears and brake at the same time, and you need a considerable amount of finesse on that brake pedal whilst you're rocking it over and flipping the throttle.
So the Chevrolet Lacetti, run by the Team RML with Jason Plato at the wheel, is on pole position. They're hoping to extend their programme. It's a late deal to do this race at Brands Hatch, but they want to try and continue throughout the rest of the season. Well, let's see what Jason can do with this third race of the day. The reverse grid has certainly helped him. He finished 10th in race 2. He starts from pole, but watch that BMW alongside him on the front row of the grid. That is Jonathan Adam, the young Scot, who's got this huge opportunity. Let's see what he can do from there. All set to go for the third and final touring car race of the day here at Brands Hatch. Lights out, away we go, and Plato gets off the line very well, much better than the Vauxhalls did earlier. Adam slots into second, Eves in third, and here comes Gordon Shedden and Andrew Jordan behind them. But a great start by Jason Plato, who leads through Paddock Hill Bend for the first time, but Adam on his tail. Oh, and Andrew Jordan having a big slide, might have had a tap from somebody, but he's recovered it as Plato and Adam go into battle already.
Well, Eves moved on the start line before the lights changed, and he may get a penalty. He stopped himself, but you're not allowed to move at all. But Johnny Adam really needed to try and get away in front of Plato. He's probably got a quicker car, but if Plato backs him into the other cars, and particularly Shedden, who's up to 4th place, it could be a problem. But we know the BMW is quick. Plato defending massively on the inside.
Yeah, let's see what happens as they come out of clearways then. Look how close you are. You're riding with Johnny Adam right on the boot lid of the Chevrolet Lacetti of Jason Plato. Good down the straight is that Chevrolet, and then they're onto the brakes, and Plato gets on the brakes and Adam hits him. Oh, they're sideways, completely sideways, gets it back together, holds it. What a save by Plato, but Adam is through.
Well, that was one of the best pieces of car control I think I've ever seen. An amazing skill there from Plato. He was virtually sideways across the track. Adam didn't mean to do it. I think he just miscalculated the braking point. But wow, what a save.
That was incredible. I've seen him. Oh no, Rob Collard's off. Giovanardi on the grass. grass as well. Graham Hill Bend, so is Stephen Jelly. Oh, some of the favourites in a way for good results here. In trouble at Graham Hill Bend.
Yeah, I don't know what caused that, but there's certainly a lot of cars caught, including the second race winner there, Rob Collard.
And the safety car is out there. Yellow flags around the circuit. And we have an early safety car in this third and final race of the day. Jonathan Adam Lee's damage to the front end. Well, yeah, ripped the tyre off the rim there on the Stephen Jelly car, so that's a great shame. He's going to try and limp it back if possible. But it's Adam leading from Plato, with third Gordon Shedden in the black and Dago car. Let's take a look at Plato. This is the incident, Tim.
Yeah, they're very close. We've seen similar incidents to this before. They're very close coming down, and Jonathan actually is looking to go around the outside, but wow, I mean, he just tags the back of the front wheel drive Chevrolet, gets it sideways, and well, Plato must have had his heart in his mouth there, but a fantastic save. Look at that, full lock and full power to bring the front round. That's exactly what you can't do in the BMWs, the rear wheel drive cars. You can't accelerate the front of the car to bring it round.
I think he still had time to wave some gesticulation at him, didn't he? Look at this, it lifts the rear wheel off the ground virtually, doesn't it?
And look at the angle, he's completely sideways.
Worthy of an Ivan Muller save, that one.
It was. Restart away, and look how close they are. Don't be surprised to see Plato dish it out a bit now. Yeah,
let's see, into Paddock Hill Bend. Is Jonathan Adam going to hold on to this? Plato tucked in behind, will want revenge. Gordon Shedden's there, but Adam very fast through Paddock, and that's allowed him to just open up a little bit of a margin already. That's how quick the BMW is. This could be a huge opportunity for the youngster as everybody bunches up behind. Shedden in third. That's Matt Neal almost on the grass on the exit of Druids in the Vauxhall, but he tucks back in again, just ahead of his teammate Andrew Jordan. But fourth place at the moment is Dan Eves. Fifth place is Colin Turkington in the RAC car. Right behind them is Adam Jones. So both those Cartridge World Seat Leons are going well. There's Dan Eves in his one, and behind him Adam Jones trying to get up the inside of Turkington.
Yeah, good close racing between these cars. Turkington really trying to get back up there as quickly as he possibly can. Giovanardi, by the way, is all the way down in 17th position.
And look at the lead at the end of the lap Jonathan Adam has over Jason Plato. Brilliant lap, that. Great restart by Jonathan Adam. Who would think he's an absolute rookie at this level, as Gordon Shedden now begins to put the pressure on Jason Plato. He can sense an opportunity, but he's got to get past him quickly.
Yeah, if he has it. Adam is able to sprint away at the moment if Plato holds up Shedden, but if Shedden can get through quickly, he's a chance to catch up. But don't forget, Johnny Adam carrying zero weight on the car as well. This is as fast as his car will be. Might even threaten that lap record that's been standing for so long, 49.1.
Yeah, well, we'll wait and see on that one. Dan Eves holding back Colin Turkington. We know that the orange BMW is a quick machine. Matt Neal's tucked in there as well. I can see some changes going on here. But we've already seen problems, of course, for some of these guys. And Stephen Jelly earlier on, teammate to Colin Turkington, involved in that incident down at Graham Hill Bend earlier on, which ripped the tyre off the rim, so he's out of it. Meanwhile, Dan Eves just still protecting. Matt Neal behind might be just getting... Yes, he's got past Adam Jones.
Yeah, he was flashing the lights at him coming down the straight. He was meaning to be very bullish, and he certainly got through up at Druids with a good, clean move.
Yeah, so Matt Neal gains one there, and Andrew Jordan trying to follow him through. Let's just see what did happen to Stephen Jelly a lap or two ago. This was an incident involving several cars. Oh, when he comes in the shot, he was slightly on the grass. Maybe he was battling with Collard.
Yeah, just missed the start of that. This is on board. There's Jelly on the left, battling with Collard. Jelly's on the left. There's contact going down the hill as Collard's trying to close the door. They can't both get through. They end up going off wide, and as they go off there, that bang there is what breaks the front wheel. It's also damaged Giovanardi's car.
Yeah, no, definitely. Giovanardi looked like he might avoid it, but Stephen Jelly's back in the pits, and Louise is with him.
Stephen, it looked like it was all going off down there. Talk us through it from your perspective.
Yeah. It unfortunately didn't go all that well just then. Obviously, Plato had a bit of a moment around the first corner and slowed everyone up into Druids, so I went for the outside. Went round the outside of Rob Collard, and he just decided not to give me any room, squeezed me right onto the grass and left me there. So I didn't have anywhere to go come the next corner, and touched him and then got taken out by a Vauxhall as well. So that's me out of the race. But him out of the race as well. If he would have left me a little bit more room, then we would have both continued.
Bad luck, mate.
Well, bad to see Stephen Jelly out, but we've still got the battle for second going on. Jason Plato defending from Gordon Shedden, then Dan Eves in the yellow and green Seat with Colin Turkington tucked behind him, and then it's Matt Neal, and you're riding with Matt Neal as you come down to Graham Hill Bend now. In fact, we're with Turkington, yes, following Dan Eves. So this is Colin Turkington in the Team RAC car, trying to get past Dan Eves. Dan Eves on his return to the series after that 3-year layoff, but doesn't seem to be too rusty, does he?
No, he doesn't. Amazing, isn't it? Can you think of any other professional sport where you could have that much of a layoff and come back and get into shape so quickly? I think he's obviously been practicing on the road.
Well, Turkington lost out there after getting a little held up behind Dan Eves. Look, he's left the door open, and Matt Neal's gone straight through on the inside, and the Vauxhalls are making progress again. Andrew Jordan behind, but as you said earlier, Giovanni's struggling with the damage to his car, and it's proven to be a bit of a disappointing day for the reigning champion, who's going to go away with a good second place in race 1, but not much else to celebrate at all. And the Brands Hatch curse that he seemed to suffer here at the end of last year, Giovanni, well, it appears to have struck again, at least in races 2 and 3.
Yeah, his car's seriously hobbled. He's actually struggling to get past Nick Leeson in the diesel BMW at the moment.
Right, back with that group. We've got Jonathan Adam leading by a good margin, nearly 2 seconds last time when they came around, and that's unheard of, really, in British touring cars. Up the road has gone the Airwaves BMW. Battle for second between Plato and Shedden. I tell you what, Plato's going well here. He's not dropping back very quickly, and there could be a real opportunity. He gets a little bit of a lock-up, and now Shedden's got a chance, but Plato should shut the door.
Yeah, this is the best we've seen the Plato Chevrolet look, and you'd probably expect that at the third race of the day. The team gradually improving the car. This is the best it's looked all day.
Yeah, it is, definitely. They're making progress. Jason's getting used to it. He likes the car a lot. He says that at Thruxton this car could be a real weapon. It's very fast in a straight line, good aerodynamics, good strong engine at the top end. And of course Thruxton the next round on the calendar, so let's hope that they can keep that deal going. Here comes Matt Neal attacking Dan Eves. These two used to be teammates. Well, he wouldn't think it, as Neal gives him a little nudge and a kiss as he goes past on the side panel, and through he goes, and Turkington takes advantage to follow.
Yeah, well, Dan Eves closed the door for the usual Matt Neal chucking up the inside approach, but of course then Matt just tapped him up the back and eased him wide.
And now Andrew Jordan slips past as well, so Dan Eves lost 3 places in one fell swoop pretty much there, as Matt Neal now chased by Colin Turkington up into the hairpin. No trace really of a lock-up, just a wisp of smoke off that right rear. Lovely control on the brakes there from Matt Neal, just about perfect. That's what you want to see, the unloaded wheel just with a tiny wisp of smoke as the tyre almost locks up, and Matt Neal seems to be driving beautifully here.
He is. He's had a good start to his campaign. The Vauxhall looking strong, very robust, very race-worthy, very good on the brakes, usually reliable. We had that problem for Andy Jordan, but here we go. Watch this. Matt Neal in front. He's looking to get the inside. Dan Eves protects it. They just have a little bit of contact, which is enough to put Dan Eves wide, and with the aid of 2 wheels on the grass, Matt Neal gets inside him.
Yep. Colin Turkington takes full advantage of that by slipping past as well. Dan Eves has been muscled back. Well, I said he wasn't too rusty, but maybe there was a little evidence there that he's going to have to remember some of the tricks that these guys get up to if he's going to retain podium finishing positions. Jonathan Adams still leads this race, the Scot with his first real opportunity in touring cars, who's been so strong in the support championships to the touring car circus over the last few years, but now he's got a great opportunity. 2.4 seconds his advantage over Jason Plato and Gordon Shedden. There's Matt Neal in 4th, Colin Turkington in 5th place, Andrew Jordan is in 6th, Dan Eves now down to 7th, ahead of Adam Jones in 8th, Harry Volkard is in 9th, and Martin Bell in 10th. Rob Collard is still running, but he's down in 11th place. Tom Chilton and Alan Morrison in the Team Aon Ford Focuses, they're down in 12th and 13th, and Giovanni still trailing, he's down in 16th position.
Well, it was Ian Harrison from 888 that first alerted me to the potential of Jonathan Adam. He tested him in a Vauxhall back in 2005, and he lapped within 1/10 of a second of Jan Muller. But it's taken until now for Jonathan to find his opportunity, thanks in part, I must say, to the BRDC Superstars programme, which has helped him this winter. And he's delivering in spades for not only the BRDC, but also BMW and Airwaves.
Well, it's anxious times out there at the moment as Jason Plato still trying to defend that second place from Gordon Shedden. And Shedden knows he's still got time here. He doesn't need to do something too risky. He's got plenty of time, and he's gonna be watching to see pass. It's Jason's mum's birthday today, so let's see whether Jason's going to be able to reward her with a great result. Linda's going to be pretty anxious. We saw a picture of her a moment ago. She was looking pretty nervous.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think she had her heart in her mouth when Jason was sideways at Paddock Hill Bend at best part of 95 miles an hour.
Down the hill they come into Graham Hill Bend, and still Johnny Adam is way ahead of this group. Plato is controlling it, but Matt Neal has closed up a little bit more, so has Turkington. Andrew Jordan's not that far behind. This group still pulling away a little bit from the two Cartridge World Seat Leons, and then behind them it's still Harry Volcott. Here comes Matt Neal. Classic manoeuvre on his former teammate, but it doesn't quite come off this time.
Oh, that was very close, but Gordon Shedden knows that move as much as anything, but he's almost powerless to defend against it. If he actually blocks the line, Matt could just tap him up the back the way he did Dan Eves and still slide through.
That's right, but it's a real play, a sort of strategy game. How do you defend from that attack from Matt Neal? Got to position the car very carefully, but they're up at the hairpin again, and these four cars absolutely closed up. We're watching from Colin Turkington now. You're looking at the Vauxhall of Matt Neal directly ahead, and we'll watch him as he takes that approach up to Surtees and Clearways.
Yeah, watch, he'll probably cut a lot of curb on the left, try and take a really tight line to set it up for the right, but yes, he's trying to set up, but Shedden's covered it.
Yeah, but Shedden there tight into the inside, as you say, covers the opportunity, and Jason Plato's been given a break of a car length or two just for a moment, because these guys are busy fighting each other, and that Chevrolet definitely has got better pace. They have made progress with it through the day, and as the tyre wear becomes a factor, it still seems to be pretty quick. Looking a little looser. He was complaining of understeer earlier today, Tim. I don't think he's got much understeer now.
No, they've done it even through Surtees. I've seen the car moving a lot from the rear, which is the fast way to handle a front-wheel drive car as the tyres go off at the front, but Jason is proving that he's lost none of his deft touches, and really we'd love to see him in the balance. Oh, look at him wiping his brow there inside the car, but we'd love to see him and this Chevy out for the balance of the year. He's one of the few people that can really take the fight to Vauxhall and BMW.
Again, you can see the back end working on the car, sliding on him as he turns into Clearways, but that does make the car better. It's getting him out of the corners faster as well. So that's evidence that RML have done their homework today with Jason and made the car better, and he's still there in second place with a little way to go still in this race. We're on lap 17 out of 25, but Johnny Adam is still in control. He's having a lovely time out in front at the moment, all as a result of that earlier incident, of course. There is Johnny Adam, we're on board with him. And Tim, I wonder how he's feeling right at this moment.
Well, he's won many races from the front, but nothing ever as big as a British Touring Car Championship race. So he'll certainly have his focus fully on the road ahead and maintaining his rhythm, not making any silly mistakes. And I'd be very surprised if he does. He's a totally professional driver. But hats off to Jason. I really didn't think he'd be able to stay in second for as long as this, and he's driving really well.
Yeah, absolutely superb so far. Still a little way to go though. Can he hold on? That's the big question. Behind, meanwhile, Colin Turkington has got alongside Matt Neal and is having a little go around the outside. No chance to do that unless he can cut back on the inside, but he's not quite there in position to do it. Behind them still, Andrew Jordan having a good first weekend at VXR with the Vectra. Of course, he had a problem with the car in race 1 where it died on him when he was looking at a possible second place finish, but now he's still in the fight in this race, sitting in 6th currently, and dutifully following his teammate Matt Neal, double champion. 4 championship titles between those two Vauxhall drivers, Matt Neal and Fabrizio Giovanardi. So Andrew Jordan has the opportunity to learn a vast amount about touring car racing this year.
He does, and he couldn't learn from two better people or with a better team. It was proven last year with Tom Onso Cole winning races in Vauxhall that that was no impediment to performance, and it was equally as good as the other two cars. And it's a great opportunity because it cements a relationship if you can go up against the best drivers in the business and do as well as you can. And Andrew Jordan's already proved it. He's another BRDC superstar, I might add.
So Jason Plato still sits in 2nd place. 3rd place for Gordon Shedden, and then Matt Neal, and no one has so far found a way past that blue Chevrolet that is new to BTCC. Jason doing this deal just this last week, but So far, so good. Holding into that second position. Up into clearways he comes once again. That right rear just locking up a little bit, but he's still in behind. Matt Neal's gone alongside Shedden. There's side-by-side action behind them as Matt Neal this time has got an overlap.
Yeah, we didn't see the start of that, but I guess you can probably decide what caused it. And in the background, Giovanardi's in the pits to retire, I think.
Oh, miserable day for the Italian. So the defence of his title, his attempt to take a hat-trick is not working at the moment. Let's see how he did it then, Tim.
Well, wait for it. Here we go. He actually came from a long way back there. Shedden didn't defend quite as much as he had done in previous laps because he probably clocked his mirrors and Matt wasn't as close, but Matt sensed the opening and went for it. Good move.
Now this is going to be interesting. Matt Neal has got up into third. He is now the one chasing Jason Plato. There's no love lost there, is there?
No, as everybody knows, Jason Plato and Matt Neal are not the best of friends, but I'm absolutely sure that Jason will be resolute in his defence, and that's the damage on Giovanardi's car, and no wonder he couldn't continue.
No, so very, very disappointing for Fabrizio as we watch the leaders come through. Adam's already gone over the line, of course.
Turkington through on Shedden as well.
Yeah, so the BMW, the Team RAC car there of Colin Turkington, has managed to make the move on Gordon Shedden, and that car, quick in the early stages, just losing a bit of pace now.
Yes, probably worked his tyres too hard. Whatever the setup was at the start of the race, it's not the longevity that some of the others have had. But in comparison, Plato really has. I mean, Matt Neal hasn't leapt up onto the back of him. He is quicker, clearly, but he hasn't leapt up on the back, and we're at the latter stages of this race now.
Absolutely. We're on lap 21 out of 25, but out of this race, as we've seen, is the champion Fabrizio Giovanardi, and he's with Lou.
Fabrizio, a pretty frustrating end to a pretty frustrating weekend.
Yeah, it started well, but anyway, sometimes happening. It's not all easy. Well, I have to say, I have been involved in a crash. It wasn't my fault at all. So anyway, I said before, it's happening, and will be more interesting for the season.
Cheers, Fabrizio.
Cheers.
So disappointing for Fabrizio, but there you go. But Matt Neal is closed up towards Jason Plato. The back end of that Chevrolet looking looser and looser as Plato tries to drive it fingertip, but it is fast. And is it going to be quick enough to keep that Vauxhall behind it?
Well, 3 more laps to go after this one, and as I said, you can expect Jason to be very resolute, but it's going to be an interesting battle. Look at that, the Vauxhall's so good braking on the turn, which is a really difficult thing to do in a front-wheel drive car.
Yeah, but Plato looks as though he really has to use a lot of road going into clearways, and of course that's going to leave a huge gap for Matt Neal, who doesn't need any gap to get past there.
No, but Jason, once Matt gets on the back of him, you watch Jake. Oh, look at the oversteer there, turning in.
Yeah, he's
Jake. Oh, he's struggling with that car. He's really struggling. But once Matt gets on the back of him, Jason will instantly start taking very defensive lines, which will almost certainly result in Matt hitting the back of him.
Are we going to see these two cars finish? Well, take bets now, because it could get pretty tricky as we go into the final stages of this race. Over the curve they come out of Granville Bend. Colin Turkington could be sitting pretty here because he's right behind them. Could be a second place handed to him. Let's see what happens then. This is Matt Neal's favourite place. Up into clearways, he's having a little look, but no. Jason Plato, no, he's getting alongside. Rub, and he's got the inside, and surely he's done him.
Yeah, he has. I mean, we all knew it was coming, and Jason was really powerless to defend against it.
He's going to come back down the straight. This quick car down the straight. Look, he's actually got it back in front.
Well, that is super brave, super brave. He deserves this second place, Jason does.
That is some great driving, and Turkington now trying to take advantage of it as well.
Well, this might work for him, because if Turkington hassles Neal, then Plato could actually get this.
Yeah, but of course Matt Neal's favourite bit of the track is still to come on this lap and the next lap as well. Lap and a half to go, and Matt Neal's going to try everything to get back into that second place. Colin Turkington chasing. Where to go? Colin Turkington's got to be a bit careful here. He doesn't want to end up in their accident if they're going to have one. A little bit of locking up. They get through the first part of clearways okay, but they're all three jammed together virtually as they come out onto the Brabham Straight. They're coming around to start their final lap. Johnny Adam leads this race comfortably, but who is going to finish second? That's where the battle is.
Yeah, Johnny Adam has got this one in the bag. A brilliant debut for his Team Airways BMW. There he is coming up the hill. Nick Leeson in the way, the back marker in the way. Hopefully he'll pull out of the way on the run down to Graham Hill.
This could be tricky. Let's see where they catch Nick Leeson. It's going to be after Graham Hill Bend, I think. If they catch him into 30s, that could be really tricky. And Nick Gleeson is moving over to one side. Is he? No, he's not. He's taking his line again. This is the worst place to catch a back marker. It's all going to go off here. Plato's got to go on the inside. He has no choice. I hope Nick Gleeson's seen him. And yes, he stays out wide. Now it's going to be a drag race. Jonathan Adam is going to come through to take his first win at his first event in touring cars. But it's Plato. Plato's going to take second place in the Chevrolet. Third goes to Matt Neal. Fourth to Colin Turkington. What a drive from Jason Plato. A brilliant performance by Jonathan Adam, although let's remember the stewards may look at that incident when he went past Jason Plato earlier.
They may well look at it, but at the end of the day, a brilliant drive by Johnny Adam. That's his team, Motorbase. That's Timmy, his mechanic. Everybody's celebrating. Stu and all the boys, and Dave Bartram there, very emotional, I'm sure. But my driver of the day is definitely Jason Plato. That was a fantastic performance from being totally sideways. He saved it, he's recovered, he got passed by Neil aggressively, and he repassed him with a super brave round the outside outbreak into paddock and held off. I mean, that was a brilliant drive, and that's why the British Touring Car Championship needs Jason Plato.
Yeah, absolutely star performance. But Jonathan Adam on his debut in the touring cars, a 24-year-old from Fife, who is the reigning Seat Cupra champion, double champion in fact. He won the Clios in the past. What a performance. This was the moment at the race, Tim.
Yeah, it was unintentional. There's no way that would have been intentional, and I'm really pleased that Jason saved it. He did have a wave of his fist there. You're absolutely right, a wave of the fist, and I'm so glad he saved it. It was unintentional, but we've seen it several times into paddock. If the car on the inside takes a slightly defensive line, he brakes earlier and it can catch out the guy running close up behind.
Actually, Adam did quite well not to hit him again through there. So let's just quickly look at the results. It's Adam the winner from Plato and Neil, then Turkington and Shedden, with Dan Eves and Adam Jones, followed by Rob Collard in 8th, Harry Volkard in 9th, and Martin Bell another point in 10th.
Debut win to really celebrate from Jonathan Adam, his first weekend in the British Touring Car Championship, and he finishes on the top step of the podium. You have to admire what he's done today, but you also have to admire what second place Jason Plato has done in that Chevrolet. Just getting the deal together just about 4 days before the start of the championship and producing one of his truly great drives to bring that car through into second place. And that save he made at Paddock Bend, 90 miles an hour, 90 degrees across the circuit, was something to absolutely wonder at. And hopefully we'll get a word with Jason as well as a word with Jonathan Adam as soon as they bring the cars into Parc Fermé here. But an absolutely stunning race, and a race to really set the seal on a brilliant opening day of this High-Q MSA British Touring Car Championship. 3 different teams winning today, 2 victories for BMW, 1 for Vauxhall, and a win on his first weekend in the championship for Jonathan Adam. And after Rob Collard's success earlier, another victory for this new team as well. And what a day they've had to celebrate. Jason Plato is also just making his way into Parc Fermé here. We'll grab a word with him. But in the end, it was a comparatively untroubled victory in the latter stages of the race for Jonathan Adam, if he remembers to put his handbrake on and come out and join us. Hey, well done, Jonathan. A come down from there is going to take you a while to come down, I'm sure. Let's just grab a quick word. First weekend in the British Touring Car Championship, Jonathan, and a win like that is the stuff of dreams, isn't it?
It definitely is. You know, that race was tough, obviously. We got an okay start, and you know, once we got past Jason, you know, the car was really good, and it is, you know, it's what dreams are made of. I've always worked to get to this goal really in touring cars, and you know, to get a first win after race 3 is absolutely awesome. And huge thank you to all the guys at Airways BMW, and we've really kicked up a gear this weekend.
Before Jason joins us, give us your version of what happened at Paddock Hill Bend, how you got past.
Yeah, obviously Jason braked very, very early, and you know, I tried to duck out and avoid him really, and I turned you know, across him at the rear, and you know, he held it well, but we managed to obviously then get the run down the inside for Druids.
You must have been amazed to still see him in your rear-view mirrors after going sideways across the track at Paddock.
He was right there, and then obviously the safety car came out and he brung it all back, you know, so it was quite close, but you know, it was a good race.
Jason Plato, I must say, I mean, you want to give your congratulations to this man, I'm sure, but it's After an exhibition like that, we know why it's great to have you back in the championship. Tell us about those closing laps, the pressure you were under from Matt Neal in particular.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's so important for us to get a result this weekend for pretty obvious reasons. But yeah, I mean, he was hunting me down, and you know, we changed our car all the way through the weekend and got somewhere where it was a lot better. That was the best it's been today. But certainly 6, 7 laps home from home, he was getting hard work. And not only did we dial in some oversteer, but we also got the understeer back again. But we've made a big step forward with the car. But it was a great race, wasn't it? Lots of drama and. Yeah, he's a bit rude, isn't he? For an elderly man like me, giving me a whack like that. But
he's got your measure. But tell us how you saved it. That was an extraordinary moment at Paddock Hill. Tim Harvey said this is one of the greatest pieces of car control he'd ever seen. How do you rescue a car from this?
I don't honestly know, to be honest. It's all a bit blurred. I mean, you know, the most important, the first thing you got to do is get hard on the gas, and then if you do that, you've got half a chance. But yeah, it does look quite spectacular. Sophie, my wife, had put me on a sex ban if I didn't win. So hopefully, with that sort of save, that might be lifted.
I think the future is looking good then, in more ways than one.
Let's hope so.
Jason, well done today. Great to have you in the championship. Wonderful drive today. But Jonathan Adam is our winner of this third race here at Brands Hatch, and it sets the seal on a terrific afternoon. We'll have more time for some more reaction and to enjoy the celebrations of Jonathan Adam in particular when we return in a couple of minutes. What a race, the exuberance and young talent of Jonathan Adam, our race winner, but the experience and car control of the amazing Jason Plato. Even he said he couldn't work out how he got that one straight again. Jonathan Adam wins from Jason Plato in second. Matt Neal took third, and that's good enough to put Matt Neal at the top of the standings after this first weekend of the IQ MSA British Touring Car Championship by 7 points from Colin Turkington. Rob Collard, another race winner this weekend, is in third place, and the amazing Jason Plato in fourth. So Matt Neal heads the way at this early stage and is talking with Louise.
Well, Matt, 3 races, 3 podium finishes, not a bad way to start the season.
I know, if you could give me that at the start of the weekend, I'd have grabbed it with both hands. Fantastic. You know, we've been sort of tweaking the car all weekend. That last race, it could have gone for another 20 laps. It was beautiful. I just didn't want it to finish.
You're pushing hard all the way through and, you know, making some rude moves on people, but getting your way through.
The problem is, it's busy out there, you know, and there's a lot of cars and a small place of track. I thought I could have had Jason at the end, but I thought the third's better than nothing at all, and you know he looked to have his hands full with the Chevy, so I didn't want to get into too much of a tangle with him. And Jonathan was out of reach, so yeah, third was good, awesome for me.
You've had your disputes with Plato over the years, but you've just gone up to him and kind of shook his hand and said, "Well done, mate." You seem like you're pleased for him as well.
We both do that occasionally. Must be Christmas.
Well, you're leading the championship now. What more could you ask for?
Fantastic. It's a couple of years since I could have said that. So long may it continue. Only another nine events to go, isn't it?
Good luck, mate. Well done.
Thanks, Louise.
And a great start to the championship here at Brands Hatch. Tim Harvey, we've had 3 different winners today. Who's your star of this first day, though?
Well, there have been many stars, you know, Motorbase getting 2 wins with Rob Collard and the new boy, Johnny Adam. But for me, Jason Plato in that last race just epitomised what touring cars is all about. A quality, talented driver, brilliant car control. He was been fighting the car all day, but the team have improved it. He did a brilliant job and a well-deserved second place in that last race.
Oh, you know how things work behind the wheel. Exactly how do you rescue a car from the moment he had at Paddock?
It's instinct, and fortunately Jason's been driving front-wheel drive cars for a long time now, and you know the instant you get tapped round like that, you just have to floor the throttle, give it full lock. That's half the story. Getting the lock off and straightening it up is the other, but having time to wave his fist at Johnny Adam, that was very impressive.
What are we going to see from Johnny Adam in the season to come, do you think?
You're going to see more wins for sure. He's a very talented double Seat champion. He's got the win straight away at his first meeting under his belt, and he'll win more races.
And Matt Neal is clearly delighted with what he's achieved so far.
Yep, all the good intentions of the winter have come true for Matt Neal. He's back in championship form, 3 podiums, 26 points in front of Giovanardi, who nearly didn't put a foot wrong last year, but then 2 races with problems this year. how the fickle fortune changes.
And things haven't gone well for the defending champion today.
No, they haven't. He had the puncture in race 2, the contact and damage to the car in race 3. It's a tough world. Matt Neal said it's a really tough fight out there, and he's been robust, aggressive, and it's paid dividends today. Giovinardi trying to be cool actually has ended up being penalised.
All set to be a fascinating championship battle. Tim, thanks very much indeed. Our next Touring Cars is in 3 weeks' time, and that comes from Thruxton in Hampshire. But this coming Tuesday, remember, the Champions League returns at the quarter-final stage. We have Manchester United against Porto for you on ITV1. Arsenal travelling to Spain to face Villarreal on ITV4. Build up to both games from 6:30 on ITV4. Next, here on ITV4, we have all this weekend's action from the Guinness Premiership, followed at 7:30 by the Big Tackle with Austin Healey. So that's your sport, Matt Towns. Stay tuned for the rugby. Join us for the Champions League on Tuesday. And after what you've seen here at Brands Hatch, you won't want to miss Thruxton 3 weeks' time. Bye-bye.